This is an interesting one from the Punch newspaper. Tinubu names ex-CDS Musa as defense minister, meets service chiefs. And there's what he told the service chiefs, which is that they must show workings, as it were. The word is, you must give us better results. So that's what he's telling service chiefs. But let's start with the nomination of the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, as Nigeria's new Minister of Defense. That's following the resignation of Badaru Abubakar on health grounds on Monday. I'll start with you, Ojasope. What do you make of the nomination?
Well, I'm impressed, and I think this is a nomination, and this is a change of pattern that I'm excited about, because we are in a war situation in this country, and to have a civilian as the Minister of Defense, a civilian as the National Security Advisor, and a full civilian as the Chief Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces is not good enough.
Is the former CDS not a civilian now, considering that
he's not.
The NSA was a police officer?
No. A police officer is a civilian. The military guys, they don't really see a policeman. Remember Yarima now. They don't really see a policeman as a force, as a military person. But we are in this war situation in this country, and we need all the experience we can get. You know, such position in this critical moment in our history, we need military men to handle it.
Really?
You know, yes, it's a very serious situation presently. And some of the video clips I'm seeing, and I know the president will have even more detailed information than what we have. And I think it calls for drastic steps. So it's a very good development to have the former Chief of Defense Staff to be the minister. And I'm looking forward to Matala Wale to be redeployed or relieved completely of that assignment.
Interesting enough. Maybe before you go further in terms of that, Isiaka Badamosi, before you go further into what you see as maybe the merit or demerit of this nomination, he made a statement about, at this time, as military officials, one should have, looking at the stage of things, and one should say, at what point do you draw the line? I mean, some people would want to go as far as saying, maybe even in governance, since you're already suggesting that maybe at this time, it's military officials who should be in charge of affairs.
Oh, well, you see, the thing is this, it doesn't really work that way in governance, as far as I understand it. You see, Christopher Musa is a professional. He's a professional soldier. For me, I'm really worried. I want to see how he navigates the political terrain, because it's a different thing from being a general and a soldier than being a politician, a minister of in the federal cabinet. It's two different kettle of fish. As a politician, you need to navigate, you need to manage, you need to interact, you need to appease, and that is what the president has done. The president has decided to appoint him to appease some quarters, to control some interests, the Christian bloc saying this, that we are not carried along. The genocide thing by the American, having a Christopher Musa who is a Christian from the south, from southern Kaduna, that is a way of solving the problem. Then you now have to deal with the issue of his acceptability. If you remember, the core north were even against his being this Chief of Defense Staff. There was this contention there. Now he is now he will now be the full-fledged minister.
Once approved by the
yes,
Senate.
and that in itself needs a lot of politicking, a lot of appeasing, and all of that. How he navigates that, I don't know. But I think the president is trying to be politically correct as much as possible, so as to appease as many as possible in terms of all the issues that are being raised. For me, you see, the Ministry of Defense also is a complex place. Complex in the sense that it doesn't just have the army. It has the Air Force. It has the Navy. It has the civilian cell. And all of them have specific duties they do. Christopher Musa was a general in the army all his life. Does he have the understanding of what happened in the Navy, the Air Force? How does the civilian cell function?
Does he not have a better understanding of that than a civilian in terms of Badaru who was in charge?
What you need in ministry, you see, you don't necessarily need somebody who is an expert in the field to head a ministry. You need somebody who is an administrator. That is what you need. And to be able to implement policies and government policies and make sure that you get the best out of those experts. Those that should be experts in that area should be the National Security Advisor, should be the Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff. Those are the people that are saddled with the technical duty The minister is, for me, somebody who manages them. And
yes,
I hope he does well, really. But I think the president has done the right thing. He has done something that will satisfy a number of interest and people who are maybe criticizing him. So to some extent, it's a relief for him.
If I get you right, you are suggesting that his nomination is not due to his competence, or maybe the failure of the past, what's it called now? The past Minister of Defense, but rather a political appointment to appease a certain set of people.
To a great extent, yes, that's what it has done. And you see, Ibadiru he was a former governor. He would have served. He served in that capacity as a minister because of what he has put into politics. In politics, people contest for positions, and when they get into positions, they want to look at people who worked with them, who helped them to succeed, to bring them on board to get the job done. But in doing that, you must get people who are also competent and who can be better managers of human and material resources.
I need to turn to just a same topic. I mean, but you're seeing it from different sides. It's saying whoever has to be the Minister of Defense has to be a great administrator, not necessarily a military individual.
The best scenario I can paint for you was during COVID. You can imagine having a lawyer or an engineer as the Minister of Health for health during COVID. How would it look like? You're going to sit with professionals, and you yourself having original idea of what to do can make a lot of difference. Right. Fresh FM is doing so well, but anybody can start a radio station. But if you have a practitioner, somebody who is a professional, it will make a lot of difference. Military guys don't like taking commands, instructions from civilian when it has to do with military things. They don't like it. And we need to produce results. Lives are being lost. We are losing our men.
That is in Nigeria. That is our style. That is our culture in Nigeria. The military feels above everybody.
And wait,
just a minute. So what's the appointment?
In other societies, military guys, where you go out and you commit any offense, you'll be arrested by the police.
But we're talking about Nigeria here.
In Nigeria, that's a wrong mentality that we need to correct. It is wrong for the military to have this sense of we are above everybody or we know it all. It's not true.
Will the nomination, if approved by the Senate, will this change anything?
Oh, well, I think it will suit a lot of nerves as it is right now. Whether it will change things on the ground, for me, is to be seen. But I think it will suit a lot of nerves in terms of foreign agitation, in terms of the local agitation and all of that. That will calm a lot of nerves. And that is being politically correct.
Well, I think it's a right step in the right direction, because I had a clip by the chief of the nominee, Christopher Musa, just when he was the chief of defense staff. He was saying that Nigeria has gotten to a point that we have to mount wars among some of our borders, and he gave instances.
Yes, he did.
He gave instances of countries.
Those are not realistic things for God's sake.
No, even the US, they are mounting war to separate Mexico. If you are having border issues, you have to take drastic steps. How much will it take us?
How much
we are considering the coastal road, 15 trillion. Will it take us 15 trillion?
Without man borders around Nigeria?
Not round. The particular places that we know that they are giving us so much security problems, we can man borders there.
We just said something about having professionals in particular fields. And I want to cite a very interesting example.
Okay.
Dangote has been into cement. He has been into flour. He has been into sugar. Now he's into petroleum. Is he an expert in any of those things?
Wait, hold on.
The point I'm making is
that
you must be somebody who has the capacity to administer.
Okay, in terms of
management, it's not the MD.
Hold on a minute. Hold on, gentlemen. Hold on a minute. Same thing. I'm going back to Isaka Baramosi. Looking at how Badaru has performed, since you're saying we're looking at administrators, he has served as a two-term governor, for instance. He's been an administrator and people re-elected him into office. Now he served as minister in that capacity. Did he show himself as a competent administrator?
Well, as it stands today, from what I've seen so far, no, I do not think so. I do not think he has done well with the ministry.
So do you think we should follow the same path?
He could have done better. No, I think the president maybe ought to have shaken things up a little bit. He, as a person, really did not strike me as somebody who was pushing the policies of government in terms of national defense security and the national defense policy in the right direction. So having the Christopher Musa would maybe push that in that direction, and I think that might work for us as it is right now.